Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Melissa Chambers Consulting Wednesday Words of Wisdom. I hope everyone is having a good week. I apologize, I missed last week. I was not feeling well, and I apologize. I feel like I look sort of a mess. One side of my face is red and the other side isn't. I'm taking medication and it's giving me it's making me look like this. So anyways, that's not what you're here for anyways. You're here for information. So I will start sharing. Today we are going to talk about use it or lose it. And this is very important. And I know it's also very important for caregivers to keep your sanity. And that can be challenging at times. Sometimes it can be very challenging. It can be very challenging for us to keep our patience. So oftentimes I get calls from families asking, like, how do I become more patient? Like, I feel like I'm always on edge. I feel like I'm always, getting mad or getting upset or getting irritated with my loved one. And I know they really can't help it. But, patience is difficult. I don't have the answer for that. I don't have the answer for, telling someone how to become more patient. It's very difficult. But what I do want to say is something that requires you to have even more patience. So it may be something that we have to work on, and that is okay. It is okay to have to work on things. It is okay to not be perfect at things. It is okay if you are doing something maybe the opposite way that I suggest. This is trial and error, and anything that's happening is okay, as long as it's coming from a good place in your heart. And if you feel inclined to make some of the changes that I suggest, great. And if not, that's okay too. But the reason I suggest things is just to help to make your life a little bit easier. And so when we say use it or lose it, so when our loved ones living with some sort of dementia diagnosis are showering or getting dressed or going to the bathroom or brushing their teeth or whatever it is, we call those activities of daily living, abbreviated ADLs. When they need to get a shower or get dressed or any of the things that I just mentioned, it can take very long. And sometimes you're rushed to go to an appointment, you're rushed to hurry up and get them ready. And so oftentimes we may find ourselves doing these tasks for our loved one. And it could be we're doing it for them because they can't do it for themselves, or it could be that it's just quicker for us and easier for us than to stand there and sit them watch for 5 minutes to button a shirt, or longer. However, what I will say to you is, if you can, try to start getting ready earlier so that you can have that time, not rushed time, for them to allow them to help in the shower. Even if they're not doing a good job, you can kind of help with that, but let them have a wash rag or a scrub or whatever it is that they use, and let them do the top while you're doing the bottom. And then if you have to go back to the top, go back to the top, and just let them help. When they're getting dressed, if you can lay their clothes out for them in the order that they need it, in the order that they need it to put on, so that they're not having to root through or trying to figure that out, and then allowing them to do it. If it's a zipper, don't just do it for them right away. Let them try. If it's buttons or snaps, let them try first. Because when we start doing everything for our loved one, even though it may be easier for us, when we start doing everything, they lose it quicker. And so I just challenge you to think, is this something that you know for certain that they can't do, or maybe they can't do it because it takes too long and we have started to do it for them? So see if they can do it. Don't test them per se in this way that's like demeaning to them. But, you know, hey dad, do you think you can, you know, button this sweater? Here you go. Here's your shirt. Put the buttons, you know, you button it. And maybe not saying, do you think you can? That's not a good thing to say. But just, you know, saying here's your shirt, and see what they can do with the buttons or the snaps. You know, here's your jacket, and see what they can do with the zipper. You know, maybe help them put it up on their arms for them, and then see what they do with the buttons, or, you know, start buttoning it and demonstrate it for them. Here, let's button this up and see if they do it. Give them that little extra time. And so, you know, I'm just saying to try. Now, if it's been so long, and this is just a general statement, because again, everyone that is watching, they have loved ones in all different stages of the disease, and depending on what stage of the disease will depend on, maybe they just flat out cannot do these tasks anymore. You know, and that's one thing. But if it's just because it's quicker for us, try to see if we can give ourselves a little more time, and try to see if we can muster up the patience to do so, because it will take patience. But the longer that they can do these things for themselves, the longer that they will keep the ability to do those things and not lose it. So again, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Okay? So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that has cleared some things up for people and is helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. MelissaChambersConsulting.com. There's a contact us page there. Our phone numbers can be found, email, you can call, text, whatever's easiest for you. We're always here to help. Also, just as a quick reminder, this is the time of year where open enrollment is coming up soon for Medicare. So make sure you're talking to agents and asking questions, and make sure you're including the questions in there, not just about, you know, your prescriptions and your doctor and things like that, but what happens if you go to the hospital and God forbid you end up in a nursing home in rehab? What happens? How long of a stay will you get? Will your insurance pay for that? Are they going to kick you out quicker? You know, make sure you're just asking those questions. Or if you need to ask for a loved one, make sure you're doing your due diligence with finding out about the insurance companies just before you sign up to one or the other. Make sure you're just making the best decision for you or your loved one. Okay, thanks. I hope everyone has a great day, a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.